Welcome to this deep dive, where today we're laser focused on just one thing, the lyrics of the song Driven by the Code.
Right. So forget just listening to the music itself.
Yeah, our mission is really to dig into the story these words are telling us, the character at the heart of it all, and the bigger ideas at play.
And the song's genre mix, that pop, synth pop, and rock, it sort of gives you an immediate feel for the energy, doesn't it? Sets the scene.
It really does. Okay, so diving in, what immediately grabs you is this central character.
Definitely. He's presented as an envoy, right? On a mystery ride, a transporter.
Uh-huh. It's not just about, moving stuff.
hmm
These words suggest someone trusted with something important, maybe secret, operating with this air of the unknown.
And the lyrics really emphasize his unwavering will. That's a strong descriptor. Why do you think that detail is so crucial, especially in this kind of shadowy world they paint?
That's a great question. It makes you wonder what kind of pressures he's under, where that level of intense resolve is, well, necessary for survival, maybe?
Mhm.
And he's also described as a man of few words whose silence explodes. I find that contrast fascinating.
Yeah, that outward quiet masking this potential for intense action. It's powerful.
And he's clearly got a goal, right? With his eyes on the prize,
Huh.
very focused.
And that focus, that drive, seems directly linked to the code. It's mentioned right there.
It's what fuels him, apparently demanding precision and speed.
He's bound by the rules. That implies a really strict set of guidelines he follows, no deviation.
But then we get that little hint in the pre-chorus
Yeah.
when the lines blur.
Ah, yes. What does that blurring suggest about this code? Is it really absolute, or is there maybe some room for interpretation? And, what happens if he does interpret?
Exactly. If he's so defined by this strict code, what happens when the situations he finds himself in aren't so black and white? It poses a real dilemma.
And the lyrics paint such a vivid picture of the world he moves through. Neon-lit alleys, the open road, even mentions of fire and chaos.
It's definitely not a safe 9-to-5 job. It's a dangerous environment where steel wheels hum, fists collide, engines roar, action and potential threat seem constant.
And it's within that volatility, that chaos, that we see these little glimpses of his inner world, right?
Yeah, like the question, when the lines blur, will he face defeat?
Yeah.
That introduces a vulnerability, a crack in the armor, maybe. Something you might not expect from someone with unwavering will.
Good point. And we also hear about a contract broken, new demands, and crucially, a past he won't forget.
Right. That suggests a history, maybe baggage, that complicates his current adherence to the code. How might those past experiences affect his decisions when those lines do start to blur?
It really makes you think, because even though he's operating under this rigid code, the bridge kind of throws us a curveball.
You mean the underneath the armor, a heart still beats line?
Exactly. There's this core of humanity hinted at, maybe even hope, despite all the deceit mentioned around him.
And that really significant line, the rules he's lived by, they start to fray. That feels like the absolute core tension of this whole narrative, doesn't it?
It really does. If you sort of connect all these threads, it seems like the song is exploring that classic conflict between duty and personal conviction.
He's driven by the code,
Yeah.
perhaps even more than by any personal vow, which really highlights the power of external rules in shaping who someone is or who they think they are.
But this recurring theme of blurred lines suggests a potential breakdown of that rigid structure, almost inevitable maybe.
And then the emergence of loyalty that it calls and shows the way that hints at a possible shift, right? A different guiding principle taking over from the code.
So pulling it all together from just these lyrics, we get this picture of a character who's defined by a very strict code, operating in a high-stakes, dangerous world.
But, and this is key, he's facing deep internal conflict. The potential for his long-held rules to be challenged may be broken by external events and possibly his own buried humanity.
Which kind of brings us to a thought for everyone listening. Think about the unspoken rules or personal codes that guide your own life. We all have them, right?
Yeah, big or small.
How do those principles inform your choices, your actions, day to day? And maybe more interestingly, what happens, or what do you imagine could happen when those seemingly clear boundaries start to get a little fuzzy, a little blurred?
That's definitely something to chew on. Thanks for diving deep with us today into Driven by the Code.
Yeah, fascinating stuff, just in the words.
We'll catch you next time.